tonight we're back with some creepy and interesting TikToks. So if you haven't done it yet, hit and smash the like button for me. Smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. And now, let's dive in. It doesn't look like a fire, it looks like a damn spaceship, for real.
It is terrifying how realistic this is. You can take any image in the world and turn it into a highly realistic animation. This is a Chinese image to video model called Kling, and it's the best that we've seen. I mean, look at this fluid simulation. It's unbelievable. And this is publicly available, but it's only accessible with a Chinese SIM card, so I haven't been able to try it. But this IG account, Man Meets Machine, has been feeding it mugshots of celebrities, and it's kind of unsettling how good it is. And like I've always said, there will be a day this decade where you're gonna be able to generate anybody or anything doing whatever it is that you can imagine, and it'll largely be indistinguishable from reality. So yeah, we probably need to start talking about regulation. But the best thing that I think we can do in the meantime as creators and consumers is just spread the word. The more people understand the progress of these models, the less impact it'll have when used maliciously. Because when used for memes and concepting and telling stories, I think it's a blast.
And it's getting crazier by the day. Have you seen all those union strikes in the movie industry? It ain't gonna stop. You can stop technology. You can't, unfortunately.
The most haunted object in the world, Annabelle was a raggedy doll with a dark past, first given as a gift to a nursing student. The owner complained that she would find the doll, moved around the house constantly, would find notes written by what she thought was the doll, and would even come home to find the doll covered in blood. Once, when a friend was staying over, he woke up the next morning, covered in scratches and blood, and they knew they had a problem. Ed and Lorraine Warren, famed demonologist, tried 2 exorcisms on the doll, believing that Annabelle was being used by a demon as a conduit from hell. When the War Warrens realized that they were unable to send the demon home, they took it upon themselves to jail Annabelle for protection from the rest of the world. She remains there, still in the Warrens Museum, where she lies encased in a glass box with multiple warnings, multiple locks insisting to never let her free again.
Would you have kept that doll at the museum or burned it? Creepy for sure.
We know in science that there's more than one dimension. This is what they say now, all of them say it. There's more than one dimension. My question is, do you not think there might be something living in that dimension? This is where the dangers of technology like CERN we don't fully understand. I think they may be opening wormholes to parallel dimensions where that demonic realm may be able to come into our realm with their powers. The power to shapeshift, the power to travel faster than the blink of an eye and bring you back objects. We know this from Solomon. They helped Solomon construct his temple. He used to command the demonic realm to jump into the deepest parts of the ocean and bring out pearls the size of tennis balls. He decorated his temple with these jewels. We know that they can shapeshift from the story of Cain. We know that they can inspire thought and attack us, what you would call telepathy, to project thoughts into our minds. That little cartoon with the angel and the devil on your shoulder, that's real. They follow us everywhere we go. They know how we think, they know what we talk, they know what we speak. It's that thought that you think is yours. It's not.
Because you can't see them, mean they don't exist. They do.
You don't know 99% of the sports games is fixed? Huh? You don't know that? There's something wrong.
You're speaking the truth.
Fixed. It's $100 trillion industry, and they give these punk black sons of yours $100 million and then deaf, they ain't opened up nothing.
Follow the money.
They don't own nothing. Huh? Michael Jordan was living in his car broke the last 2 years before they killed him. Huh? But they play all.
And by the way, in numerology, first time reveal, 3 and 4 are enemy numbers. 4 is the number of law and order. Does it make sense that a 3, a criminal, would have issues with a 4, which is the police and law and order? This is how numerology breaks down in everyday life. You guys just never thought how to apply it. You want to see even more?
Yeah.
Blue, if you add it up in numerology, B equals 2, L equals 3, blue adds up to 4.
How does L equal 3?
L equals 3 because it's the 12th letter. 1 and 2 is 3.
Got it.
So again, blue would equal 4. Red, 18th letter, E, R is 18th letter, E is the 5th, D is the 4th. So that adds up to 27. 2 and 7 is 9. So when you have red and blue together, 4 and 9 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. So even the blue and red lights that police function under all over the world, I might add, that light frequency is a 4. Do you understand how deep this stuff goes now?
Wow. Yeah.
People just never dissected it. This is some of the stuff I've been teaching my students within GG33, and now the public knows. So what I want the public to actually do is to start evolving all of this. I dropped enough seeds. I dropped enough seeds, and now you understand how people in positions of power actually use this.
If this reality is a simulation, numbers matter.
He's having the time of his life.
What being, what person could possibly be willing to underwrite and undermine the Syrian kings? Clue number 1, what is the headgear that Ra wears? What do you see in Stargate? What does that hood look like, and what the hell's on the front of it?
Like a reptilian
A snake.
queen.
A reptilian queen. The queen says, "You've screwed with my check, enough." And she takes Ra into her fold and says, "Go down there, dude, and do it for me." And Lord God Ra becomes the one and only God on earth. But the reptilian queen ain't dumb. She knows you don't trust the Wolfman. So she sends some of her distant relatives, some reptilian hybrids, created specifically to serve and obey the queen. Right? They are called Shetu. Little lizard hybrids who follow and obey the queen's commands. Now, the Shetu hybrid beasts also were created to serve the system. And one of the things that they were extremely good at was manipulating the stone cutting machinery. They became master stone cutters. They could use the equipment and cut blocks so square, so precise, when you put them together, you couldn't slip a piece of paper between them. The stone cutters, as a matter of fact, and Lil and Prince Aya actually used some of the Shetu before they even created the beast. In other words, there were Shetu hybrids on planet Earth working for the Syrian king and now for Ra even before man was born. The Shetu. This is the key. The administrators of Ra, the reptilian queen's insurance that Ra would always obey. Ra, egocentric sucker, who comes in and says, "I am from now on the one and only God." And we have proof. We can show that Ra went in, he changed the hieroglyphs, he changed stone inscriptions, he changed the stelae, he changed the pyramid inscriptions to make himself the one and only God. from that moment that he took the throne, there would be no other god before him. He eliminated the existence of any other Syrian king, of any wolf king. No one existed before Ra. He changed the records. But there's a problem. We can change the records and show that there was never any president before built by every single book, every single videotape. We can do that. But there's a problem. Memories. You've got hybrid beasts that are working for the system. You've got reject beasts that are working hand in hand with the system. There is a long time period here that we have basically skimmed over. But now there are some Adama beasts on the outside of the system. There are some Adapus beasts on the inside. We are now in basically the period 6000 BC. It was civilized. There were humans everywhere. They're like, some of them, cockroaches. I may not like them, but they're here to stay. So, Ra changes the records. But you got the memories. Now what? Ra says, guys, don't you have a technology that would allow me to eliminate memories? Oh yeah, a math technology. Reprogramming the brain. The reptilians are famous for it. Let's reprogram the brains. So, the Lord God Ra calls the Shetu stonecutters. They were loyal, obedient slaves. And he said, guys, I want you to erase their memories. I want you to set up a reprogramming center, and I want you to march them in there one by one or in groups, and I want you to reprogram their brains so that they will never remember anything above and beyond my existence. There will be no memory beyond the year 6000 BC.
Very interesting. We're just going to keep that in mind.
Yo, can somebody explain to me what the hell is that? Where is it? What is that, yo? That thing is not moving. That looks like a flying saucer. What is that? That thing is just not moving at all in the sky. Come closer, you alien.
He said, we just opened a fabric of space.
Doty claims that the team used argon gas and anti-magnetic sheaths to try to keep the portal open. It worked for only a few seconds, but it was enough time for researchers to observe what was on the other side.
The scientists believe that you open a fabric of space, you're in a different dimension. That's an entirely different dimension and possibly an alternate universe. That's the way they explained it to me.
After this initial experiment, Doty was informed that the research team successfully replicated the results.
After the first test, all the scientists were fascinated and thrilled, and they wanted to do more and more and more. And in a period of about 6 weeks, they did 5 different tests, similar to the first test, opening the portal. Now, they wanted to use more energy. They had a high-energy laser. They wanted to try a chemical laser, which is a little bit different than an energy laser. They actually built a brand new power plant, and all of that electricity was being used for this particular project. They tried to get as much energy as they could to be directed at that one point to see how much of it they could open up.
Breaking UFO news. This may seem like a joke, but it's not. Police departments across the U.S. have been issued a new handbook on how to handle UFO sightings, also known as Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, or UAPs. The guide warns that UAPs and UFOs may pose serious safety risks, especially to law enforcement air units, and it emphasizes proper reporting protocols. This UFO handbook initiative was led by Major Cities Chiefs Association. There have been increased reports of unexplained aerial objects, and it has sparked concerns over airspace safety and national security. The handbook also aims to reduce misinformation and to promote evidence-based approaches to UAP and UFO encounters. There's obviously enough information and reported encounters happening to justify the creation and the issuance of a handbook on how to handle UFO sightings. I find it all quite interesting. Would they go to all this trouble if there was nothing to it?
I have to admit, all governments are liars. If not, prove us wrong.
20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things would become popular in the future. And that somehow calling people the goat would be normalized over the sheep being always the most popular reference.
It profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul. Is this recent, comments you're making about Israel a recent thing, or have you always had these beliefs?
It's more recent. I didn't really realize what a problem it was until recently, and then everybody was scared to say something about it. My brother told me, you can't say anything about it. They'll fucking kill you. Everybody basically said that I couldn't say anything about it. And actually now they're literally trying to kick me off the board of my company because of those tweets. So yeah, I've definitely had a lot of negative pushback, a lot of my Jewish friends, but I don't give it's one of those things where I know that it's the right thing, and the fact that everybody else is scared to say it makes me, feel obligated to be vocal about it.
Why do you think it's the right thing?
Because I know that they're a parasite. They provide the U.S. absolutely no value. They've done so many things that, would constitute, an act of war against us. I mean, USS Liberty, Lebanon Affair, I can go on and on and on and on and on. But, I think they knew about 9/11. I think they had JFK assassinated. The first thing that he wanted to do, right before he died was, make AIPAC a foreign entity, and not allow them to have nukes. And then all of a sudden this guy's dead, and Jack Ruby, who was Jack Rubenstein, it's just and then you just, I don't know, man, I can't ignore all the they've done. They sold their secrets. Netanyahu lied to us about weapons of mass destruction. We fought all these wars. My friends have died over there, and I just look at what they provided us with, and it's not nothing. It's a negative, it's not, even if they just didn't do jack, that would be, bad, but they've actually done things to hurt us over and over and over again. So this whole thing of they're our greatest allies, just complete bullshit. And, we send them $100 billion, then they send AIPAC $100 million, and then they distribute it to our politicians, and every politician has a little AIPAC handler walking around and telling them what to say and how to vote. And it's just look, I'll donate $100,000 to politicians, and they call me up hey, you need anything? Every week. I don't need it. I sit on my ass. I don't do anything. I don't care. I don't break any laws. I don't need any favors. I just gave it to them because I didn't want to see any more retard, Democrats in there. So, but that's 100,000. What does 100 million buy you? How many phone calls do those guys get? And so I just know how it works, and the system is broken. These people get into office and they don't have very much money, and they get out of office with tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. It's not a accident, right?
Is that an Israel thing, or is that anybody? Because China's doing the same thing.
China doesn't have they don't have an AIPAC. Israel is the only one that has a lobby in the U.S. Giving these politicians money.
Okay, no, every country, the big ones all have lobbyists. They all have lobbying that they're doing.
Not in the U.S. They're registered as foreign entities.
So you think the Middle East and the world would be a better place if Israel didn't exist?
Yes.
Okay.
Israel's committed, so many terrorist attacks. They're stealing land right now. They're operating apartheid. They're currently committing a genocide on Palestinians. Do you believe in the genocide they're committing?
I think they're fighting for themselves and they're defending themselves.
Do you think that's defense?
Well,
when 1,200 people died, and of which the 1,200 you've killed and admitted that you've killed a lot during, your handle.
I will tell you this. The part I question where people who are Jewish can't stand when I say this, I don't know how you, Netanyahu, claim you have the best intelligence in the world, Mossad, and you didn't know that on October 7th they were attacking.
They knew about it. They didn't. They wanted it to happen, so they had a reason to take that. Yeah, they wanted a reason to take the land.
I totally get it.
And they killed their own citizens. And they claimed that all these people got raped. That was bullshit. They claimed beheaded. That was bullshit. Everything that they said was a complete. Not only was it a lie, but they committed all those atrocities themselves to the Palestinians and been caught doing it. In fact, they just got caught gang raping Palestinians. How many they killed, all the things that they accuse the Palestinians of or Hamas of or whatever, they're guilty of 100-fold themselves. And they've been doing that. Like October 7th wasn't the start of this. Like the start of this was Nakba. They've done so many different.
Disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, so I mean, this is not like, it's not like October 7th is like, there's all of a sudden they just came over there unsolicited and just killed people. Like they have been killing Palestinians for years and years, operating two sets of justice. It's like they have the justice for the Palestinians and the justice for the Israelis. And if you read the Talmud, like, if you're not Jewish, you're basically not a human. You're like, like cattle. If a Jew is killed by, somebody that's not Jewish, then it's the death penalty. If a Jew kills somebody that's not a Jew, then, you can't kill them. It's not the death penalty. Like they literally like segregate in their Bibles.
They're very protective of themselves. I don't think anybody can debate that. I don't think it's a.
Well, it's not the problem isn't that they're protective of themselves. The problem comes when you think that you're better than other people and you think it's okay to lie to anybody that's not a Jew. You think it's okay to steal from people that are not a Jew. You have two sets of standards. The problem with that is it allows you to rationalize anything, right? And human beings are generally self-serving creatures. So if your fundamental religious belief system allows you to operate in such a way that you believe there isn't consequences to stealing from other people, killing other people, being, kids that are under 9 years old, like if you think those things are okay, then, how are you going to operate? Because to me, like my moral code keeps me on track.
You like Dan or not, you got to give him his props. I mean, we could agree or disagree, but there's a lot of truth in what he's saying.
Explain what the sun taught you.
Oh, what did the sun teach me? That all physical reality is sustained by motion, and anything that is no longer at an electromagnetic vibratory frequency undergoes what is called death, which is the permanent termination of biological functions with the state of living organism.
If you fuse your spirit body or your ether body with your physical body, you can eat directly from the source. Soul, the soles of your hands, the soles of your feet, the palms of your hand. These transmute energy. These are your 11 chakras. Your aura is you have 7 levels of existence. You only see them with the 2 eyes, which is the 3rd dimension, which is the densest level. You have a 7th eye, which is your crown chakra. When your kundalini is flowing, you're supposed to know this, Mr. Amara. When no, it's Egyptian as well. When your kundalini energy is flowing and all your chakras are aligned, your light body is permeating, and your light body takes over the physical realm. And you see when hell, now you eat on that realm because that is the driver that's in control. So you have never transmigrated the physical realm, so you don't have no experience.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that. What the hell? No. That is crazy. Looks like a rip in the sky, boy. Y'all see that? Oh, something's up.
Visitors, the greys.
Oh, you know people that are connected to them?
Of course.
Oh.
I am. That's why I implant. That's what it is.
That's why what?
The implant in my ear is it'll turn on during the interview, and you'll be talking to me and to them.
You don't have an implant. You're pulling my leg.
No, I'm not telling you the truth. You don't know about it? You never read the books?
I read Communion.
Oh, okay. You've only read Communion.
I've only read Communion.
Okay, yeah. I have this. Well, I'll tell you the story. I'll just give you a brief preface now.
Perfect.
It was put in 1989. I was wide awake when it was done. It was done by 2 people. There's a whole lot of people who are connected with the visitors, who are connected with them, and these were 2 of them. I couldn't use it for years, but after my wife died, it began to become useful, and it now is my absolute go-to It's like having an unbelievable AI, only whatever's on the other side of it is not artificial, but brilliant. It works with me when I'm writing. At 3 o'clock every morning, I get up and there's a dialogue that goes on. It's not like channeling. It's much more direct than that. It's very direct. And during interviews, it will be working most of the time.
Can you see it behind your ear?
Feel it, yeah.
You can feel it.
Yeah, it's right here. Yeah.
Have you ever like had a doctor look at it?
Absolutely. I've got an MRI scan of it. In fact, I'll send it to you on my phone. I mean, a CT scan of it. That CT scan was done by someone in the CIA.
What?
Who wanted it very badly to be taken out, but I wouldn't let him. Yeah.
How did you get a CT scan done by somebody in the CIA?
No, it was done. The CT scan was done privately at his request by a doctor who he called and set up.
Okay. How did a CIA person get to find out about your implant?
I'm known to them, to the IC, to be a legitimate close encounter witness, and they are interested in that.
Why do you think the CIA is so interested in people who have had close encounters?
Well, you know, I think they kind of backed into it because their brief is foreign intelligence. And this is about as foreign intelligence can get. And when the CIA was first founded, the Roswell incident occurred. The Army Air Corps became the Air Force, and the CIA was founded, and the National Security Act was passed, all in the same few months. And
this was like July
47. July to October of 47. And so all of the infrastructure was then in place. And I think it was just a very natural thing that CIA would be the go-to agency to study this.
Not everybody here on this planet has a soul. In fact, a lot of them are just projections of program, and that's all they care about is regurgitating the program that they have been created by artificial intelligence to spout, because they don't have any real intelligence. And how you tell the difference is a human being has the ability to change, and a messenger cannot change. A messenger has a different soul than a human being. The messengers are here, program artificial intelligence. The messengers are here to tempt and sway people who have souls. And they do it quite effectively. But when you go back to roots, the way you tell if you're a human being or just a messenger, a co-opted bot of artificial intelligence, is you can change. A human being has the ability to change its mind.
Is she referring to NPCs, non-player characters, like in video games? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me. Smash the subscribe button, be part of the family, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.